Isupk.
We want no cowards in our camp, in our camp. Only men defend and die. We want no cowards in our camp, in our camp. Never let their brothers slide. We want no cowards in our camp, in our camp. Only men prepare to die.
You understand? That's how the world works. They hate you for saying it, but they don't hate the people for doing it. We've been prophesying against the Catholic Church, brother, from before I ever came into school, from before I ever thought about the truth. Men in the Isupk have been prophesying about how wicked the Catholic Church is, how it's an organization established to house and coddle and protect child molesters. There was a time in white communities, brother, where if you were a gay man and you like to have sex with children, they would tell you to become a priest. They would push you into the Catholic priesthood because the Catholic priesthood is where you can go and under the cleanliness of the reputation that the Catholic Church has, you can be a homosexual and not have the stigma of homosexuality on you. And the Catholic Church, brother, has been doing this, my God, I mean, how long? 100 years. Forget about what they do in South America. Poor countries like Mexico, man, where parents don't have the resources to come up against the cardinal or the priest in their parish. Where parents will almost, I appreciate it, brother, will almost blink their eye at the fact that you molest their children. Much like people did with Michael Jackson. Put it right here in the front of us, right here, dead center, right? Much like right here, that's all. Dead center. Much like people did with Michael Jackson because he was rich, because he was powerful, they would have voluntary blindness to the fact that he was molesting their children. Well, can you imagine what happens when your priest is molesting your child? When the man who you believe is a man of God is molesting your child. In the UPK, we've been saying this for years, man. For years, back when their former Pope, Karol Wojtyla, was a famous child molester in Krakow, Poland. And he became Pope over the Catholic Church. And what he would do is this. Whenever someone was accused of being a child molester in one city, he transferred them to another city. And they bounced them all over the globe. The minute a scandal comes up, the Pope just transfers you to another city. You got your hand up here? You need me? No problem. You can go in the back and tell them, all right? Everybody understands, right? Read this story again.
Vatican police raid gay orgy in a top cardinal's apartment. Drugs found inside.
Please, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. What? That's the history of the Catholic Church. This is what everybody knows about them. The FBI should be kicking in their goddamn door. Right. Interpol should be kicking in the door of the Vatican, arresting those priests, man. The Catholic religion, the Catholic Church is an organization of crime. It's a criminal organization. It's where pedophiles and child molesters go to be protected from justice. And it's absolutely disgusting. Now, if you ever wondered where T.D. Jakes came from, Creflo Dollar came from, what's the one in the purple? Eddie Long. If you wonder where he came from, the Christian church, the so-called Protestant church, is born of the Catholic Church. And that's why they're so gay. The Christian church is the home of immoral, absolutely lascivious. mocked and called a faggot, you could just become a priest, serve God, be productive to your community, and keep your sin private from the people by doing it to the altar boys in church, the children that serve at the altar in the Catholic Church. You know the Catholic Church comes out of Rome, and you know Rome was ridiculous about child rape.
Right.
Tiberius Caesar and Caligula Caesar, they believed that raping a child was more decent than being with a woman, because a child can get pregnant. And you don't have to go to a child's father for a dowry. You have to make an agreement with their father. No one can get pregnant. No one has to know. And now here you have the Roman Catholic Church, and every Christian religion comes out of the Roman Catholic Church. The Protestants, the Episcopalians, the Seventh-day Adventists, give me some more. The hollering up and the hollering and hooping and hollering one, whatever that one is. The one that lose their mind and go berserk. Which one is that? The ones that go nuts. Like Pentecostal. The Pentecostal church, all of them. Your mama's church, your grandmama's church. And that's why all of those gays are in that church. Well, guess what? Christ, the day that Christ comes back won't happen unless there come a falling away. We look up to the Catholic, put that back on the screen. We look up to the Catholics. We look up to Catholic priests. They look up to that Pope. They kissing his ring and slobbering all over his hand.
Right.
You know, shut the whole city down from Philadelphia, man. They shut the whole city down. That child molester came to Philadelphia. Yeah, I couldn't drive to my gym. I switched gyms because he's blocking up the whole goddamn road, the highway, because some child molester came down to Philadelphia. They did the same thing in New York when he came to New York. You can't even drive down Midtown because this sodomite is in New York. Well, the way that people look up to the Pope and the Catholic churches has got to change. And it's your job to change it. It's your job to make them look down on people who they would previously look up to. That's part of what being a prophet is about, man. That's in Jeremiah 28:8. Prophets of old have spoken against great kingdoms and nations. People look up to Catholics and priests and popes, and you have got to make a portion of them look down on Catholics and priests. They got to look down on T.D. Jakes. They got to go, ooh, Al Sharpton. Oh, get out of here, Al Sharpton. I don't want nothing to do with you, Al Sharpton. Well, you a Catholic priest? I don't want nothing to do with you. You want my son to be an altar boy? Hell no. No, thank you. You got to look down on them, and the people won't look down on them unless you, read my mind, unless you, come on, Oscar Ross.
Show them what they are, sir.
You right there. Show them what they are, but if you're on topic today, you would say what phrase? Show them what they are, you would?
The man is simply revealed.
And you would reveal them. That's why. Why? Because I want Christ to come back. So I have to say the Catholic Church is a place of organized crime.
Right.
Come on.
If I could, sir, could I get First Thessalonians 3?
Is that where we are right now, or no?
Thessalonians 5 and.
Let me hear it.
For when they shall say peace and safety, when sudden destruction cometh upon them.
That's not the best scripture to pull right here. What you want more is scriptures about Esau, about someone who everyone looks up to, but really they should look down on. Someone everyone trusts and believe. And that same person is someone that no one should trust or believe. All right, I'll take that first one a bun. Quickly, I got to move on.
I got the scripture you wanted.
Go ahead.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is
Go above it. One.
Verse 13. For such are false apostles.
Read again.
For such are false apostles.
That's the Pope. He's a false apostle. That's what he calls himself. They call his seat the seat of Peter, the throne of Peter. He believes that he sits in the seat of the disciple of Christ, Peter.
Right.
He does not.
Right.
He does not. He is just a liar. He's just another child molester. He's Michael Jackson. That's all. Who else? R. Kelly, was he one? I believe so. R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, your uncle, your stepfather. He's just like the Pope. No different at all. Just some sick, twisted bastard who was hurt when he was a child. You still ain't dead sinner. You need to go bang, bang, right over here. More. He's just some sick, twisted bastard who never got dealt with, never got justice. And because of it, he grew up disgusting, like the person that molested him. The Catholic Church doesn't believe in reforming those sodomites. They believe in hiding them. Hiding them. Well, marvel not that what? Read it again. Someone else, you got it? Take it.
Verse 13.
Marvel not. Marvel not.
Is that 2 Corinthians 11:13?
You got to go find the word marvel not right there.
Okay,
if it is,
14.
then that's the one. Go ahead.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of the light.
Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Don't marvel about that. Go up to the verse before that.
Verse 13. For such are false apostles,
That's the Catholic Church. That's the Pope.
deceitful workers,
That's the bishops. That's the cardinals. That's your grandmom's piece. That's Abuela's priest. Abuela is Spanish for grandma. That's your grandmom's priest in the barrio. That's Abuela's priest. The one she looks up to and loves and trusts. He's a homosexual and a child molester. Go ahead.
transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ.
Damn right. Keep going.
Verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into the angel of light.
Don't marvel at that. Don't marvel at people lie and say that they're priests and they sit in Peter's seat and they're pastors and they're reverends when they are false disciples, false teachers. Don't marvel at Satan can fool you the same way. Satan can trick you the same way. Everybody understands that. Come on.
And that's like y'all for me. I'm paraphrasing here, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Can we use also that scripture where if the master is corrupt, so are his disciples?
Yes, yes, you can. That's a perfect precept. I'm gonna move on past this topic here. This is a strong subject. The Judite community, not many of them are Catholic. So it won't strike as hard as if you hit the Hispanic community. The Haitian community, you hitting home with them because this is what they believe in. This is what they love. It hits harder to hit Creflo Dollar, T.D. Jakes, people like that, and the Judite community. But the Catholic Church is very strong in the Hispanic community. And either way, you can just bring it up because it's true and they're disgusted and we've always brought it up. All right? I'm just letting you know for when you go to camp. All right? Yana Kwan.
Well, could I bring Revelations 12 and 9?
Let me hear it.
And the great dragon, what was cast? I can use them.
It's not quite on point as these two. You want scriptures about believing someone who's a liar, trusting someone that's a liar. Never trust thine enemy. You want all scriptures about lasciviousness and reveling, right? Living riotous, right? The Christians are homosexuals, right? And they teach every Christian religion to be homosexual. Wicked people love homosexual sex because it is sex without repercussions. You understand? And that's what people want with sex. The worst thing about sex is that you can die or bring forth life from doing it. You got to go to a father and talk to him. People hate that. People want to have sex like you eat a sandwich. That's why the Bible says in, almost gave it to you, Deuteronomy 28, they have done what? Sold a girl for wine and used a boy as a harlot. They want having sex with a girl to be like drinking a glass of wine. That's it. You know, that's how you have sex. Like you drink a glass of wine because you're thirsty. And then once you're done, the wine is gone. That's what wicked people want sex to be when that's not what sex is. Sex has repercussions, serious repercussions. And it should always have repercussions. If you're having proper sex, it has some serious repercussions. If you got to go to a father, if you got to get permission, if you're having it with a woman, if you're having it with a decent woman, there's a certain woman who having sex with her means nothing because she's what the old timers used to call common. You understand? She's not special. She's a common thing. So having sex with her will have no repercussions. You hope. You hope. And of course, that's why homosexuals love to be with men and be with children, or so many lesbians. Forget about the lesbians. They love that. Why? They don't want to have sex with a man, because when you have sex with men, what happens to you if you're a woman? That's definitely it. But that's not why they don't want to have sex with men. If your heart has been broken 1,000 times by a man, you say, now I'm going to be with a woman. Why?
Because they don't want to get the heart broken.
Because you know you will never fall in love with this woman.
Right.
So you won't ever care about her.
Right.
So you can just use her like a sex toy, and you'll never care enough about her for her to break your heart. And that's why so many women become lesbians, because they know if they let a man inside of them, they're going to fall in love with him. And falling in love is something they don't want to do. So they go to young M.A., who's a mock man.
Right.
She looks enough like a man, but she ain't a man, so they'll never love young M.A. They'll never fall in love with her. But she's, you know, like a man might get a blow-up doll. Like the Edomites get blow-up dolls, you know, the plastic woman. That's what young M.A. is to women. A thing you can be with, but you'll never fall in love with it. You understand? Where if she lets a man in her, she's going to fall in love. Especially a UPK man. Ooh-wee. She's going to be in love immediately. Everybody gets that. Homosexuality is disgusting. The Catholic Church promotes it, and the Catholic Church houses and hides and obeys justice so that they can house and hide homosexuals. That's organized crime. It's harboring a criminal. They should all be arrested.
Right.
Christ comes back, they will be arrested.
Right.
Every last one.
Right.
Come on.
Also, I want to start, if I may, I think I have a number for also in 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3, sir.
Let me hear it.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Yahushua.
A little, you're going to have to explain that simplicity, but you could work it, but it's not as simple as other ones. How would you explain the simplicity that is Yahushua?
Okay, so Slaki, sir, meaning like we let these devils be, don't be confounded by these fools, have no amazement. And it's just as simple as this: don't be a homosexual.
You're right on it. The simplicity, which is Yahushua, is keep the commandments. It's black and white. It's not gray. It's not a gray area. It's just keep the commandments. That's all. Well, people hate that. And pastors confuse you into thinking that life is somehow more complicated than just keeping the commandments. They try that when you're young in the school. You say, I don't eat pork. Well, what if you were on a desert island? And there was nothing there but wild hogs and ham on this desert island. I always go, where the hell all these pigs come from in this desert island? Somehow this is an island full of pigs. Right? And then what if you was starving to death? Like everything has to be some complicated conundrum on why you can't switch from bacon to beef bacon or turkey bacon. So it has to be a long parable of quandary and conundrum on why you just can't switch from pork chops to turkey chops. Come on.
And you got to think like a Hebrew on fish, sir.
There you go. They have to give him a hand. Damn right. Oscar Rob get on the island. He gonna fashion a hook out of something. He gonna eat fish on the island. You on the island, right? Goddamn, it's food everywhere. Don't let him confuse you with that garbage, right? The simplicity, which is Christ, man, is just you're gonna just keep the law, and that's all. You want to have sex? Nobody saying you can't have sex. Have it with the opposite sex.
Right.
That's all. No big deal. What's the problem? But this happened to me when I was young, and this happened to me when I hear you. Have it with the opposite sex. There you go. Have it with a decent person. Go through the rules. Go through the protocol. You can have all the sex you want.
Right.
If you're an adult and you went through the proper procedures, do it. Everybody gets it. That's simple enough, right? Come on, I got to move on. Come on.
It's Exodus 24,
Let me hear it.
21, 24, 25.
Let me hear it.
Exodus chapter 21, verse 24. Eye for an eye. I can.
How would you explain that? On topic.
Well, what they doing to us, they're gonna. What's gonna happen to them?
Yeah, that's you have to get to that point, but that's correct. You can bring that up later. That's true. You can bring it up, but you'd have to get to that point where you say you're going to be punished for what you've done to us for molesting our children. Everybody understands. All right. Next topic. Next question. Let's go. Abun. Nazarite vow. Let's pull it up. Nazarite in the Bible dictionary. Give me the scripture about the Nazarite vow. I'll give it to you quickly. All right.
Numbers
You can put
chapter
the
6.
seal back up, Marah. Go ahead.
Numbers chapter 6, verse 2.
Also, someone asked me a question about why we cover our heads. They didn't understand it was lawful. Is everybody clear on us on how we cover our heads and that we are not covering our heads? If you're not clear on it, you got to tell me. But men in the UPK, our heads are not covered.
Right.
I'll get it. 1 second. Come on, Abun.
Numbers chapter 6, verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto the Lord. He shall
Let me give you the simplest way to understand what a Nazarite vow is. A Nazarite vow is a fast. That's what it is. It's a fast. That's why I said neither man or woman. This is a fast. It's a very long fast. All right? That's what a Nazarite vow is. How do you make a vow? That's correct.
take it to a priest
You take it to a priest. A priest has to verify that you made a vow. If you say a vow and you're at home at night, that's not a vow. If you say, I'm giving up, something for New Year's Eve, that's not a vow. All right? Go ahead.
So where did that come from?
That comes from white people. That's where it comes from. Mainly the Protestant church, who believes in not giving priests authority. They believe in taking it away because of their battle with the Catholic Church. So that's why a lot of things that we do as growing up in a Protestant country, we believe you can just pray and do it, where Catholics believe you need a priest to do it. You understand? Come on, in the back.
You brought this up a few days ago when like you have some kind of, it's not a personal religion, you have a personal relationship you have with the
There you go. That's what Protestants push a ton. You have a personal relationship with Jesus. That's not what a vow is. A vow is when you take it to God. Taking it to God is taking it to the temple, taking it to his representatives, taking it to a priest. Everybody understands that? All right? Just think about going to court. If you and someone talk about something, that's you and this brother talking. But once you sign a contract and it goes before a judge, it's real then. You understand? It's real and you're bound to it. All right? Come on.
So that goes for anything else?
That goes for anything that's a vow. Oh, let me give you something else. If you wanted your child to be a Nazarite, you'd have to bring him down to the school. If you wanted to be a Nazarite, you bring it down to the school. If you wanted to make it public that you're married to this woman, you'd have to bring it down to the school. You understand? It's bringing it to the congregation. Everyone can see it, and everyone can see that the priest has verified it. You get my point? If you have sex with any woman, she's your wife, right? But only you and her know, like Abraham and his wife. But once you bring it down to the temple and the priest says, this is his woman, everyone knows it's before God and man, it's verified. There can't be any question that someone did not know this was your wife. You get my point? It makes it official. Everybody understands? You can do it without it being official, and it will be done. But once everyone knows, once the priest verifies it, it's official. All right? We good here? So it's a fast, so you can understand, all right? Keep going.
Verse 3. He shall separate himself from wine and strong drink.
You get that? He shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, meaning you can't drink at all. That's part of being a Nazarite. No drinking at all. Keep going. When I say drinking, you know what I mean. Wine and strong drink, alcohol, liquor, beer. Keep going.
and shall drink no vinegar of wine.
No, shall drink no vinegar of wine. What is that talking about?
It's like your bottle of wine, sir.
Yes, that's talking about wine. This is not talking about not having salt and vinegar potato chips. Okay, or not putting vinegar on your hot wings. Everything you're about to read is about alcohol. I heard some thinkers were like telling people they can't drink can't have any vinegar on their hot wings or on their home fries or whatever you put vinegar on, salt and pepper vinegar potato chips. That is not what this is talking about. It's a misunderstanding over time because of the old English and the way these words are used. All right, come on.
So you can't have vinegar wine.
There's no such thing as vinegar wine. Pay attention carefully. When it says, come on, I screw up. Quick.
Stop the other one. I'll make it clear up for you.
Please, let's hear it. Go ahead.
Vinegar means the jar that they kept it in, sir. It's like a vinegar jar, if I make sense.
You're right. This is talking about the process of letting grape juice become wine. It's the jar. It's the thing they're holding in. It's that thing that you sit grape juice in to let it age. You understand? So because of the language, it's called vinegar. But it's not what you think vinegar is today. Come on.
Ferment.
Ferment, exactly. That's the perfect way to describe it. The fermentation. If you just set it up, you add, this is how you make wine with grape juice or the sugars in grape juice and yeast. But you have to sit it up. All right. That's also how you make vinegar. All right. You set it up, except vinegar, you add something called a mother, which is like some thick thing that turns it into vinegar. You can look this up on YouTube. All right. But that's why it's worded like that. Vinegar is lawful if you are a Nazirite or have taken this vow. Okay. Let me give you the spirit of the law. This entire thing is about avoiding specific carnal pleasures. You understand? Drinking vinegar is, of course, not a pleasure. Vinegar is bitter and disgusting unless you're going to mix it with salt. You wouldn't just sit down and drink a bottle of vinegar, right? It's not a pleasure. You understand? Drinking wine and alcohol is a pleasure, a big pleasure in life. Drinking wine and alcohol. This entire thing is about wine and alcohol. Keep going.
Or vinegar of strong drink.
You hear that again? What the hell is that? Vinegar of strong drink. What is that? What vinegar is made from whiskey? What vinegar is made from vodka? This entire thing is talking about vodka and whiskey. None of this is talking about vinegar at all. Everybody understands? And when I say vinegar at all, I mean the way that you concept vinegar today. This is talking about the thing that you stored it in and the fact that you're storing it and putting it away to ferment. Okay? It makes alcohol. It's called vinegar. You can't drink if you're a Nazirite. That's it. Anything. Keep going. Anything that's alcoholic. Anything that has vinegar, otherwise known as fermented. How do you know if it fermented? It created alcohol. You can't drink alcohol. Keep going.
Neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes.
You see a recurring subject, do you not? Come on, sis. No, you don't have to at all. No. Some parents choose to. This entire thing is something that has to be your choice. Some people are Nazirites from birth, like Samson, and then it ends after a certain period of time. Some people decide to be Nazirites when they're grown. But it all will end at a certain period of time. Everybody understands that? Okay? Go ahead.
Nor eat moist grapes or dry.
Moist or dry, meaning?
Wine.
This whole thing is about wine. The entire thing is about the wine you make from dry grapes, the wine you make from moist grapes. You can make wine out of all of those grapes. You can let them sit, ferment, and get wine from them. All right, the dried grapes is a very expensive wine that you can buy where they wait until the grape is small and has dried out. And because it's small, it has less what? Little science. Because it's small, it has less abundant water. And if it has less water, that means it has a high amount of sugar. Say that again? Sugar. And if it has a high amount of sugar, that means it will have a high amount of alcohol. You get the point. That's the dried grape. Where a moist grape, hence the word moist, has a lot of water. Moist has a lot of water. All right. All of it is liquor. You understand? This whole thing is about liquor. This whole thing is about wine, denying yourself this very serious pleasure of being a human. And drinking is a serious human pleasure that if you're a Nazarite, you have to not do. Keep going. Was Christ a Nazarite? No, Christ was not a Nazarite. How do you know?
Like to drink wine.
Christ drank wine. He was not a Nazarite, all right? He was from Nazareth, which is a place, a town, but he was not a Nazarite. Everybody understand? Keep going.
Verse 4. All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made from the vine of the vine tree.
Everybody gets that? Everybody understands that? What is that talking about? Great. But give me more. Alcohol. This whole thing is about alcohol. It's reiterating you can't drink any kind of alcohol. None. You're leaving it alone. And it keeps reiterating all the different kinds of alcohol that you can get from every kind of alcohol you can get. You can't have any. Go ahead.
Slide got wine out there from the kernels of the corn liquor, sir.
Here we go. It's saying the same thing over and over. It doesn't mean you can't pop a grape in your mouth. That's not what this is talking about. It's Old English. It's figurative biblical speech, which confuses anyone who's not in the UPK in the first place. If you believe in Christ, which you can't believe in Christ unless you're in the UPK, you can't even understand Christ. But I do understand Christ because I'm in the UPK, and I'll explain it to you. When it comes to any law, what you have to get is the spirit of the law. What does that phrase mean? Christ talked about it. That phrase means the true intention of God when he gave the law. That's the spirit of the law, meaning the letter says vinegar and eating a grape. That's what the letter says. Here's the problem. Over time and over years, those words mean different things. The meaning of words changes over time. Your glossary, your definition, hold your point, changes over time. So when I go to try to read the Bible without understanding the point of the law, the whole reason that God gave it to us, I inevitably will build a religion based on my ignorance. You understand? I'll be someone not eating grapes, not eating salt and pepper, vinegar, potato chips, but being a homosexual and eating pork and eating shrimp. Because I don't understand it. Christ gave us the spirit of the law. What's the spirit of a Nazarite law? To be someone that is devoted to the work of the Lord, so much so that you have no pleasure to distract you. When average men do get that pleasure, they get to drink to forget their poverty and their sorrows. Not a Nazarite. He doesn't get that opportunity. They get to have sex with a woman, to have some pleasure in life, the pleasure that comes with sleep. Not a Nazarite. You understand? So this is not talking about eating food or eating lawful food or, drinking vinegar. It's talking about alcohol and sex. I got to move on. If you're a Nazarite, you can't have any alcohol and you can't have any sex. All right? For the days of your separation. You understand? For as long as the time is that you have verified from the priest that you will be separated from your people. What do I mean when I say separated? They're drinking, they're having wives and children. You're not. You're separated from them. You're not enjoying the things that men and women can enjoy. That's Samson was a Nazarite. I believe John the Baptist also was a Nazarite, but you can look that up and check. I'm not positive about that. But Samson definitely was a Nazarite. And when his days of separation were over, he went nuts and went and had sex with that heathen woman that cost him his eyes and then his life. All right, come on. In the back.
If I could too, I have one more question about this says at the end he'll get his hair shaved or pulled. What does that mean?
He's getting read the scripture so I can bring it down. Come on.
Number 6 and
Please tell her where you are, please.
Numbers chapter 6, verse 9. And if
You got another question? I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis. Please.
Genuinely reading information before
Mhm.
when he got his hair cut off, he lost his power, his strength.
You mean Samson? That's correct. That's correct. And there's a reason for that, which I can go into in a second. All right. Let's go. Go ahead.
Numbers chapter 6, verse 9. And if any man die very suddenly by him, and he hath defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing.
1 second. Ashkara. Please go ahead.
Oh, sorry. If I may, out of one, it means if he kills someone, they don't have to shave. So.
Let me read it one more time.
And if any man die very suddenly by him, and he hath defiled the head of his consecration, then he
That's
shall
different than that's not killing. That's a man having a heart attack.
Okay.
Die very suddenly by him. You're with somebody, he drops dead in front of you. Go ahead. No sweat. If any man die very suddenly by him, go ahead.
and he hath defiled the head of his consecration,
Go ahead. Why? Because as a Nazarite, he can't be around a dead body. Right? It makes you unclean to be around a dead body. Keep going.
then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing.
What does that mean, a bun?
Get a haircut.
He's going to have to cut his hair. He's going to have to cut his hair because someone died right in front of him. Suddenly, why? Because he wouldn't be around this person if he thought this person was going to die. If someone was sick and in a tent, bedridden, he would stay away because he's a Nazarite. So he can't go into that person's tent who could die. But if you're a Nazarite, someone could drop dead right in front of you, have a heart attack and die right there, in front of you. Could happen. If so, on the day of your what? You got it. On the day of his what?
Then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing.
On the day of his cleansing. When you go, as you know, think about the Old Testament. When you're unclean for a certain amount of time. If you die, if you're in the room with a dead body, I believe it's 7 days. At the end of it, you can wash and you can come back amongst the people. Well, this Nazarite would have to wash and cut his hair. The fact that it's telling him to cut his hair tells you what, UPK? A bun?
That it wasn't Israelite culture to cut their hair. It wasn't culture of a Nazarite.
If he has to cut his hair when someone dies around him, how was his hair when no one dies around him?
Oh, it was growing, so
It was he had hair. He didn't go to the barber every 2 weeks. You get my point? He had hair on his head. So much so that when he came back around the people and they saw him with his hair cut, it was like, ooh, you was unclean. I see your hair is cut. You get my point? Israelites are a people where men grow their hair. So much so that the Romans and the Greeks called us barbarians. You understand? Because we spoke like Abba, Gada, and we had beards and hair, and they called us barbarians because of our language and how rough the men looked with hair on their face, hair on their heads, where if you were a Roman or an Egyptian, you didn't have hair on your face or hair on your head. Come on.
You better cleanse, whitewashed everything. So, I watched some history shows.
Okay.
So that's what they talk about when the barbarians had invaded Sac Rome. So
that's correct. That was yes, that was us. A lot of it. I got to be specific. You'd have to show me which ones. But yes, the barbarian. That name is an Israelite name. That's where it started. Now after us, the Romans began to call anyone a barbarian who had hair on their face and hair on their heads. Because when they encountered us, we spoke like Ba, like sheep. We blather like sheep. Ah, ba, ga, da. And that's where the name barbarians come from. And we had hair on our face, hair on our heads. After us, they called anybody barbarian with hair on their face and hair on their head. All right? But that's where it comes from Israelites, from their encounter with warring Israelites. All right? Their encounters. We good here, Ash? Let me know. Solid. Any other questions? Moran, let me get the questions online. The brother has my phone. Any other questions in the room? Let's get to death then. Brother called and asked a question about death earlier. We'll break it down. Officers, what scriptures would you go to explain death? I'm going to break it down quickly. You're going to give me the precepts for it, all right? Get ready. This is what death is. Marah, give me a head of garlic sprouting or dying, or new garlic or young garlic, or give me an old onion. Give me a picture of it, all right? This is the way I understood it when I was young in the truth, and I'll explain it to you the same way. Death is the beginning of life. That's what death is. If you want to really understand death, death is where life comes from. All right? Perfect. Let's start. 1 second. Go down a little bit. No, I'm sorry. Go back up. Where's a good one? Pick a good one, Marah. Which one you like? This one? It seemed like a good one. How about that? Hell, let's go with this one right here. All right? Make that one good. Okay? Everyone sees this, right? Forget about this part here. Ignore that for now, right? Just look at this part. This is an onion, right? What condition would you say that onion is in? Would you buy that onion in a grocery store? Y'all know. It's old. You saw that onion in the grocery store, you wouldn't pick that onion up. You know, that's an old shriveled up onion. Come on. I wouldn't use that, but hell, cook your food, whatever you want to do. Me, I'd leave that one alone. Maybe you can do something with that onion. I don't know. But your point is, when you buy food, you want it fresh, right or wrong, right? This onion is an old, shriveled up onion. Sis, you want this onion too? Go ahead.
Yeah, I usually buy that type because I like to eat soup.
No problem.
I use the leaves part.
Go ahead and do it. You're free to do that if you like. That's just not the topic. But if you want to eat that onion, eat it. Okay? The only point I'm trying to make is it is an old onion. All right? That's all we're talking about for right now. This is an old onion, right? This is why, because this onion is shriveled up and this onion is old, that's where that is coming from. That. What is that? That is, y'all know? Stem? It's not the stem. This is green. This is young. This onion is dying so that that onion can be born. This onion is dying so this onion can be born. This onion must die so this onion can live. Where does the life of this onion go? Where does the spirit of this onion go? Ashkarat?
Be judged, sir.
Where does the spirit of this onion go, Marah?
To the new life.
The spirit of this onion is in this onion. You understand? This onion is dying, and the spirit, the life force of this onion is going into that onion. You take that onion and plant it in the ground, cover it with dirt. In a little while, you'll have new onions. That's how you grow onions, by planting a dying onion in the ground. Show me potatoes, Morocco. And go back to the big screen. Come on, quick.
So you saying a metaphor, meaning you saying the old onion, which or old body is going, the old spirit is going to go with the new spirit.
I'm saying that old body dies, but the spirit does not die. The spirit gets a new body. Everybody's with me. All right, I'll take my precepts in 1 second, but let's just try to understand it. Now, give me that right there. Now y'all would you eat this one? Yeah, you wouldn't eat this one. I know you. Even you turn this one down. Would you eat this one? Hell no, you wouldn't eat that one. Right? This potato is an old shriveled up potato. These potatoes, see those little dots? Those are brand new baby potatoes. This potato is dying so that these potatoes can be born. This potato must die so that these potatoes can live. Where did the spirit of this potato go? Into those potatoes. This is how life works on the planet Earth. You are sitting here today because some old man died. You are sitting here today because some old woman died. And that's how you got here. If that old woman did not die, you couldn't have been born. If some old man did not die, you could not have been born. What I'm explaining to you is what Israelites have always known about life and death. This knowledge has given us great courage in times of trouble. While everyone else is fighting to stay alive, scared of death, Israelites have had courage, man, because they know that death is not the end. That's why those brothers and sisters died during the time of the Greeks. That's why that woman and her 7 sons were so willing to offer up their limbs and their tongue to be cut off, because they knew that they would receive them again. Everybody understands? We're not afraid of death in the UPK because we come from a people who understand death. And because of that, we are not cowards. Everybody understands? I'll give it to you in a summary. Now give me my precepts. Go.
John 3:3, sir.
Will I take that first? Yes. Go. Then I want Ecclesiastes. You got to move quick. I don't have a lot of time. I need Ecclesiastes. I also need where Paul brought up farming, like I just did, to explain reincarnation. That which thou sowest does not quicken unless it dieth. I need that, Abban. You get that for me, all right? Let's go. Ashkarab.
John chapter 3, verse 3. Yahushua answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again.
That's not it. That's a whole different born again. I thought you were going to John the Baptist at Matthew 11. When Christ said, if thou will, he that hath an ear, let him hear that this is that same Elijah, which was for to come. Give me that. I think is in Matthew. Come on.
1 Corinthians 15.
Hold that. But give me John the Baptist is Elijah. I want to say it's Matthew 12 or Matthew 11. All right. Someone else get me. I'm going to need Ecclesiastes. You're going to need 6 and 10. You're going to need 1 and 3. You're going to need Ecclesiastes 1 and 10. 1 and 6. You hold those things for me. All right. Give me the John the Baptist is Elijah. You got 10 seconds. 1, 2.
Matthew chapter 16, verse 14.
Go.
And they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist.
That's when John the Baptist was asked. I'll take that, but it's a slightly off the topic. That's proof that you don't remember who you were in a past life. That scripture. But I need the other one when they said, this is that Elias which was to come.
Sorry.
Come on.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 12.
We're up.
And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence.
Where are you at?
Matthew 12 and 12, sir.
That's it. Go.
Suffered violence, and the violent take it by force.
The kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. This is Christ speaking about the murder of John the Baptist, who was murdered by the Sadducee and Pharisee. You got it.
Verse 13. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John.
Prophesied until John. John was the last prophet because he was the last one to speak about the coming of Christ, because after him, Christ came. Keep going.
Verse 14. And if ye will receive it.
Listen carefully.
This Elias, which was far to come.
Read it again.
And if ye will receive it, this is Elias, which was far to come.
Christ said, if you'll receive this, what does that mean if you'll receive this? If you can understand. This is Elijah, which was to come. John the Baptist is Elijah. Who is the prophet Elijah? He's from the Old Testament. And at, what is it, Micah, the 4th chapter, the prophet said that Elijah would come before the Savior. Come on.
Elias.
Elias is the same as Elijah. Elias is how Elijah's name is spoken when you translate it from Greek. All right? The prophet Elias in the New Testament is the same prophet Elijah in the Old Testament. The Old Testament is translated from Hebrew into English. The New Testament is translated from Greek into English. All right? It's the same name. All right? John the Baptist is the prophet Elijah. Come on. Help me out with this. All right? Come on. Everybody understands that? How could John the Baptist be Elijah? Sis. Elijah died and came back as John the Baptist. If Elijah did not die, finish, John the Baptist could have never been born. Elijah had to die for John the Baptist to be born. That old man Elijah had to die so that the new man, John the Baptist, could be born, which is why Christ is using that as a metaphor in the one you pulled earlier. All right? That's the cycle of life here on earth. Come on.
How does the soul get inside the body?
The Most High puts the soul inside your body. Give me the soul liveth forever and it cannot die. Hold that. That's in Ecclesiastes also. Let me finish the other ones in Ecclesiastes. Where do I start? This should be in your death breakdown or in your reincarnation breakdown. The point of what I'm trying to tell you is that reincarnation is real.
Sure.
Everyone is reincarnated. Every plant, every animal, all beings. Matter of fact, that's where you got to go first. Psalms 104. Give me that. That's the best general scripture in one fall swoop that you can give about reincarnation. All right. Psalms 104. Go ahead, Abun.
Psalms 104 and 29. Thou hidest thy face.
Shy. See me one more time with this. Go up above it.
Verse 28. That thou givest them they gather.
One more verse above it.
Verse 27. These wait all upon thee, that thou mayest
skip down one verse.
Verse 28. That thou givest them they gather.
Here we go. This is the cycle of life on earth. Pay attention and you'll get it. After this, you need those scriptures in Ecclesiastes. Read again.
That thou givest them they gather.
That thou givest them they gather. What is that talking about? Eating and drinking, right? You're on a farm. You get fruits and vegetables and cows and sheep. Whatever the Lord gives you, you gather it up, right? And use it, right? He gives you wood. You build a home. With a mud, you make brick and you build a house. What the Lord gives you, you gather up. Rain comes from the sky. You drink it. That's life, right? Keep going.
Thou openest thine hand.
The Lord opens his hand. Go ahead.
They are filled with good.
And you're filled with good. You're getting all the sheep and lamb and chicken and rainwater and goods that you want. You're getting it because the Lord has opened his hand and he's giving it to you. He's helping you. He's blessing you so you can live. Keep going.
Verse 29. Thou hidest thy face.
But boy, then one day comes and the Lord hides his face from you. Now, if the Lord is looking at you and you're hungry, what will he do? He'll open his hand and he'll give it to you. But if the Lord hides his face, then he doesn't see your hunger. He doesn't see your thirst. He's on purpose not looking at you so you cannot have the things you need. He hides his face. Go ahead.
They are troubled.
And then you are in trouble, brother. You know who's in trouble? You see people dying of cancer, dying of AIDS, dying of old age, dying of kidney disease and diabetes and 1,000 different ailments. They're laying up every day in pain. But guess what? The Most High has hid his face from their pain, and they're in trouble. That's life. There was a time when the Most High was doing what for them? He had his hand open, and they were running and jumping. You give me some old lady. You see her now, she bent over, she can't move, her feet swole up. She can't walk from room to room. She's wearing a diaper. She can't get up the stairs, right? That same old woman 50 years ago was dancing and jumping and dancing to Sammy Davis Jr. She was new and young. At that time, the Lord had his hand open, and he was blessing her. And one day, the Most High turned his back on her. She was in trouble. Now she can't make it to the bathroom. Now she can't get upstairs. Now she can't clean herself. Now her kidneys are dying. Her heart is bad. She's in trouble. That's the cycle of life. There's a time when he's giving you everything you want. You're young and thriving. And over time, he begins to not look at you. Then that's your time of trouble. That's your time to become a shriveled up potato. You understand? Old, that's your time to become that. This potato is in trouble. Everybody understands? This happens to you. This happened to your grandmother. This happened to your father. This happened to your grandfather. They became that. Keep going.
Thou takest away their breath.
Then what happens right after this? The Lord takes away their breath. They can't breathe anymore. They die. Thou takest away their breath. Go ahead.
They die.
They what?
They die.
They what?
They die.
It's the cycle of life. You go from being blessed and the Lord has his hand open, giving you everything, to now you're in trouble and he doesn't see you anymore and you're sick and you're hurt. You're in trouble, then you lose your breath and you die. Keep going.
And return to their dust.
And then you return to your dust. What happens to your body? It decays. It gets older and older and older until it becomes dirt. And you go back into the ground and become fossil fuel. You go back into the earth and now you're just more dirt in the ground. Who should get your hand up? Come on. That's not a such thing, dying of depression. Death is a real thing. You got to die of heart, kidney, lung. Dying of depression is not real. It just feels like people will die from depression. But depression is not an organ. In your body, it's not real. Everybody understands? It's important to realize that. I'm talking about the real thing. I'm talking about kidneys and lung and heart and, those important things. They go, you die. Your lungs, you die. Everybody gets the point. Come on.
Depression is an emotion, sir.
Depression is an emotion. It's a demon. Is it a powerful demon? Oh, hell yeah, it's powerful. Depression can kill you. How?
You can take your own life.
Yeah, you can get so depressed you put a gun in your mouth. Go ahead. If that could cause depression? Okay, that's a whole different thing. Okay, what I'm talking about now is not so much what you're talking about with depression. Okay, what I'm speaking about is not what you're speaking about with depression is a spiritual battle. That's what depression is. Depression is a demon. Like every demon, they will make you think that you have a physical problem, but you don't. It's a spiritual problem. You understand? Depression can be fought. You get my point? Go ahead.
Fight the devil and he shall flee.
Shalom. Depression is a war. I'm not talking about a war. I'm talking about heart attack, kidney disease, cancer. I'm talking about that thing that you ain't fighting anything. It's just time for a child to be born. You get my point? That's what this is. This is time for a child to be born. All right, this is time, and more for you for your grandmother, when you see old people going, put that potato back up there. When you see old people going, becoming that potato, a lot of people, when someone who you love dies, right? It can give you such great depression and sadness because you love them. But when you see someone in this condition, be thankful that they'll get a chance to get a new body. You understand? They want to run too. You tell me this old lady ain't gonna never get a chance to run again? You don't think she wants to play double dutch one more time? Let her play double dutch. Let her go out there and run and jump. For her to run again, she's gonna need a new body. And the Most High is going to give her a new body. For that old man who can't walk and on that cane, you see him up and down the hood every day. They walk and they can't get anywhere. They in diapers. Can you imagine what that's like? One day the Lord says, you know what? I'm going to give you, going to be running the streets again, brother. Up and down the street, playing basketball, ripping and running. He's going to give that man a new body. Be happy for it. That courage and that knowledge of death helps you when you have to see someone in the world die. And that's a big part of being in the truth. I always teach brothers this because it was taught to me. One of the major drawbacks of being in the truth for so long is the fact that you have to see people in the world die. You understand? You will have to go through that because they have chosen death and you have not. So because you have chosen life, you'll be in the school, thriving and living and growing. But your cousins, your friends, your family members, you will get a phone call about them dying. It will happen. And what you can do at that time is say, I thank the Most High that I chose life. But you will have to take, yeah, so-and-so died, so-and-so got shot, so-and-so got shot, so-and-so got shot. You understand? That call you'll have to take. What do you want? You want to have the knowledge of what death is. To gird you up in that day to know that my friend, he was in the world, he was on drugs and he got shot. But he will be back. And I pray that when he comes back, my king sits on the throne. So he can come back in a better kingdom than the one he left. Give me the scripture. I got to wrap this up. Marah.
I got a precept, sir.
Go.
I don't know if we went over this already. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die.
You hear that? A time to be born, a time to die. Go ahead.
A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
Here we go again with the metaphor with grown. I think that's it on that, right?
Oh, God.
Everybody gets that. Finish up where somebody was reading in the back with the finish up that with Psalms 104. You're born. He's given you everything. He turns his head to you. You are troubled. You lose your breath and you die. Is that the end of the story? No. That's correct.
Matthew 23:32.
Hold that though. Let's finish. We're reading Psalms 104. Where are we at right now?
Verse 30, sir.
Now this should be over, right? It's not. You're born. Hold your point 1 second. You're born. He gives you everything. Then he turns his back on you. You're troubled and you lose your breath and you die. Is that the end? It is not the end. Keep reading.
Thou sendest forth thy spirit.
Read that again.
Thou sendest forth thy spirit.
Read again.
Thou sendest forth thy spirit.
After you die, the Most High sends his spirit. After you die, he sends his spirit. That spirit leaves and goes to the Most High. Then the Most High sends that spirit. And when everyone dies, you go before the Lord's judgment seat. And you stand before him. And the Lord decides under what condition he will bring you back. A lot of us that went over, that were in the dime of Christ, when we said, crucify him, we died. Then we got on cargo slave ships and came to America. Because that was the condition we came in because of what we did during the time of Christ. We were born in Rome, born in South Carolina. Why? because we said, crucify Christ. We have no king but Caesar. And then we were born in America, in South Carolina, 1600 something. Everybody understands that. Everybody gets that. You get my point? You go before the Lord's judgment to decide how will you come back. Here's some more good news. You brothers in this room, you sisters in this room, you died at one time for serving Christ. You were stoned and burned and hung and crucified on crosses. And you came back to serve the same king who promised to never let you down, who promised to give you a reward for serving him. Precept. Ye that are with me now in this generation shall sit on 12 thrones, ruling the 12 tribes of Israel in the next generation. Everybody understands? You get a judgment for how you lived in the past. And you come back when he sends his spirit, you come back to serve out that blessing or that punishment. Keep going.
They are created.
They are what?
They are created.
They are what?
They are created.
Wait a minute. How can they be created when they already, y'all know? They already died. But the Lord just said what?
They are created.
You're created after you die. Why? Because you get a new body. Your old body becomes dust. You're created once the Lord sends your spirit back. Then the egg and the sperm, the sperm and the egg, boom, they combine. And now you're created again because the Lord sent his spirit. You are created after death. Keep going.
And thou renewest the face of the earth.
And thou does what?
Renewest the face of the earth.
And thou does what?
Renewest the face of the earth.
And the Lord renews the face of the earth. Renews. It dies, he brings it back. It's wonderful recycling. Think of it like that. He brings it back, he gives it a new body. He's not wasting that spirit. The spirit endureth forever. It always comes back. It can't die. Bodies can die, but the spirit cannot. That's reincarnation. It's all over. Give them the precepts. Give me one scripture in Ecclesiastes. Give me, come on, where you at?
Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 10.
Go.
That which hath been is named already.
That which hath been is named already. Go ahead.
Hey,
Give me
it
a second.
is known.
Go ahead. You got a question? Just give it to me. Come on.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 10.
Also, this is not ginger ale, but I'll let that go for the night. Go ahead.
That which hath been is named already.
That which hath been is named already. Go ahead.
And it is known that it is made.
Okay, what you want is that hath been is that shall be. That's in Ecclesiastes. Go ahead.
The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing that have been, it is that which shall be.
Again, read again.
That the thing that have been.
The thing. Read it.
The thing that have been, it is that which shall be.
The thing that hath been is that which shall be. You need that for the breakdown. The thing that hath been is in the past. Shall be is in the future. That thing that hath been is that which shall be. Go ahead.
And that which is done.
And that which is done. What does the term done mean? Over. That which is done, go ahead.
Is that which shall be done.
What does shall be done mean? Future. That thing from the past is that thing in the future. That thing which is done is that thing which shall be done. Now I need the precept Morale was about to read now. Ecclesiastes 6 and 10. Go. Get it fast. Ecclesiastes in the Bible. 6 and 10. Down.
Well, why does the Lord turn their face and hide their face around?
So that they can die. Why do they need to die? Say again.
To the body to be born.
Give her a hand. That's correct. So that a new body can be born. Everybody gets that. All right, go ahead.
Question I want on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, your spirit returns right now on a near-death experience. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're somewhere, but you're nowhere.
Mm-hmm. I'll explain. Keep going.
I'm just, asking.
I
Now,
got you.
you're somewhere, but you're nowhere. Now, they say the will to live. Is that your spirit, sir, knowing it's dirty and not dirty and know it's going to be judged, sir? Is that the will to live, sir?
Okay, let me make it as simple as I can, all right? The will to live, as simple as I can make it for you. Near death is not death, right? Death is death. Nobody, if you're dead, you're dead. You get the point, right? Now, can you come back from the dead? Christ did it. He did it with Lazarus. You can come back from the dead. Those men were dead. What a lot of people are experiencing today when you go in the hospital, you have a heart attack, something like that. I have also been through that in the hospital and had that exact same experience where they beat on my chest, beat me, give me the CPR, boom, 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 trying to bring me back. I bust the lung as they beating on my chest. That ain't dead. Now, the feeling that people feel during that is the Most High deciding whether to kill them. He's making a decision, and their life hangs in the balance right there. Now, them wanting to die doesn't matter hardly as much as the Lord wanting them to die or not. Go ahead.
I was alone, sir.
Say again?
I was alone.
Everybody's alone when that's going on.
I was alone.
Alone meaning what?
By myself.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I wasn't in the hospital.
I got you. That's the hospital thing is irrelevant to what I'm talking about now. When you are in a near-death experience, what you want, as far as whether you want to live or not, or fight to live or not, is no way near as important as the Lord deciding whether to take you or not.
I'm just trying to understand. I know
that's it. You get the point. I'm giving it to you in the general without hearing the specifics. What's actually happening is the Most High is deciding whether or not he's going to take you or not. Now, you wanting to live is your opinion, right? Think of it in any, like a court case. You go to court, the person could say, "No, I don't want to go to jail." Go ahead.
I'm with y'all, but it's like this ain't about me, sir.
I'm not talking about you. Wait, Shemai, I'm not talking about you. I'm speaking in general. Think for a second. What you want, no sweat, is a part of the equation, like you deciding, you telling the judge, well, judge, I don't think I should go to jail. What you want is not as important as whether or not the Lord decides to take you. So to make you understand what brothers go through when they're on the verge of dying. Not you, not me, people. You understand? When I'm saying you, it's you, not you, but you in general. It's what's going on is the Most High is deciding. He is deciding right then in that moment. So as you get over it, you can have all kinds of thoughts and, on what brought you back, on why you didn't die, on where you were, where you're not at. This is what actually happened, is what you can know happened. The Most High decided to keep it. That's it. That's where you want to go with it. You don't want to go farther into it. You want to stay there so that the Lord can get the credit for not killing you. Come on.
Just trying to
you get the point. That's what I would do. I would say, well, hell, I didn't die. Barakatah Yahweh Yahushua. You get the point? I'm here. He decided to let me here. It wasn't my strength or my fight or the fact that I was fighting to live. I wouldn't go there. I would just, when I'm telling you in general, I would just say the water. You get my point? That's where I would leave it. That's my counsel to anybody who would go through that in the future. All right? Yana
yes, I could. No sweat. So what if you like when you're praying? So who are you praying to?
The Most High. If you're in the UPK. If you're not in the UPK, who the hell knows who you're praying to? If you're in the UPK, you're praying to the Most High. You're supposed to pray to the Most High and no one else.
So what's the difference? If you're saying like to be in here and you talking to the general, like you were saying,
like a vow, you mean?
Kind of like something like that.
Right. Praying is different than doing something in public to the congregation. When let's say you pray to the Most High. Let's say you tell the Lord, Lord, I'm going to take a Nazarite vow to never drink liquor again. Right? This is my metaphor.
Sure.
You say, Lord, I'm taking it. And you go home at night and you say, God, I want to be a Nazarite now, never drink liquor again. And this happened in the privacy of your home. You come back out tomorrow and you drink liquor with the brothers. What will the brothers do? Let him answer.
So you saying what would the brothers do if they found out you did?
They don't know.
Oh, they don't know.
So what would they do when they see you drinking? Let him answer. Nothing. Why would they do nothing?
Because they don't know.
Because they don't know. Let's say you come before a priest and you say, I want to make a Nazarite vow. And the priest anoints your head with oil and he says, from this day forward, you're a Nazarite until this day. Then what will the brothers do when they see you drinking?
Well, they'll charge you.
They'll treat you as a vow breaker. You understand? That's the point. The point is, you can go home and do something privately to yourself. People do it every year. They call it New Year's resolutions. Right. You've heard that before? They go home and say, I'm giving up meat. They do it at home. And guess what? When they fail, what happens? Nothing. Because they made this vow privately to themselves. But if you come before the Lord and you say, I'm giving up meat, and the people are there to say, 3 priests are standing up here and say, okay, you're a Nazarite? You are a Nazarite. Then when they see you doing the thing that you vowed not to do, they will punish you for doing it. People want to make vows in private so you can break them in public and no one knows about it, right? You understand? So you can break it. But when you step before the congregation and the priest and you give an oath, a vow, then you're going to keep it or you'll be treated like a vow breaker. All of us have taken oaths. When do we take an oath? We took an oath to become officers in the Israelite school of UPK. Right. We made an oath to do this. This oath wasn't done in our bedroom, in the quiet privacy of our bedroom. This oath was done in full view of, what does the Bible call them? Witnesses. You understand? Everybody saw me today. I got my head, oil poured on my head and became a priest. Everybody was there. Everybody saw it. Everybody knows about the oath I took that day back in 1996. And they surely would know if I broke it. If you see me in the world now, back in the world being filth, you know I broke my oath. You men know men who have broken their oaths because you saw them take it. You know they took it. So now when you see them, you can consider them oath breakers. Now what you do at home, I don't know what the hell you do, you know. You can do it, break it, do it, break it. No one will know. You haven't done it before the altar where it's public. Come on.
I get your point though. So you're saying, well, if you do it alone, it don't make a difference. It's not, you know.
Only you and God know.
Yeah, kind of.
That's it. Only you and the Most High know. That's it. You and him know what you and he talked about, which is what praying is supposed to be. Praying is between you and God. That's why Christ said, go into your closet and say, Lord, forgive me, for I am a sinner. That is personal between you and God. Your faults, your misgivings, your weaknesses. You understand? That's why Christ said, when you pray, go into your closet and say, Lord, I am a sinner. Forgive me. That's personal. You understand? You go and say that to the Most High, man. Ask him to forgive you. You don't got to tell anybody that. You go in there, you sin against the Most High, you need forgiveness, go ask him for forgiveness. Go pray for it. If you want to pledge to do something for this nation, do it in public or you haven't done it. Because no one will fault you if you break it. Everybody gets the point. Come on. It's exactly the same thing like when you receive your Hebrew name. You can go home and give yourself a secret Hebrew name and say, now you're in the truth. Or you can go through the 3 months, let everybody see you come to class for 3 months. They looking at you. They see that you're in here. They see what you're doing. Why do you think the UPK has always told men to wear all black for 3 months? So we can see that you want it. You understand? With a minute, if a brother is not wearing all black, I don't even notice him. He's just somebody who happened to come to class. He can come to class for 6 years. If he's wearing a Nike shirt and red pants, I'll never put any burden on him. I'll never consider him anything other than a civilian. But when I see a brother wear all black, I go, okay, he's trying to come in my house. Let me watch him now. I know what this means. I know that he's trying to tell me he wants to come in my house. So now I watch him, and I look like men watched me and looked at me and examined me. When I said, okay, I'm wearing all black, I know what that means. Everybody knows what that means. And then he keeps wearing all black. Oh, boy, I see him. I see what he's doing. I see he wants inside the love of my life. He's showing it to me. He's making it public. And then one day, he'll stand before this altar, and he'll get oil poured on his head. And I will expect him to keep his oath. Everybody understands? Come on, let's go.
Hey, Sluck, sir. So you can take an oath like with anything, but you ain't got to be Nazarene.
A priest would never give you an oath with anything.
Sluck, sir. Let me more break the line. Like necessarily like not be a Nazarite, but say I vow not to do this.
You can go on a fast for
that's
anything. You can go on a fast you can go on any fast for any amount of time. If you come before this throne and this altar and get it verified, you'll be kept to it.
Yeah, that's what.
You get my point? If you go home and decide to go on a fast, that's up to you. If you break it, that's up to you. You understand? If you say I'm going on a fast for 2 days and you just decide to, that's between you and the Most High. That's it. But if you come and make it public and do it before a priest, you would be treated as an oath breaker for breaking your fast. Everybody gets it. It's serious. If you don't want it to be serious, do it at home. You understand? Do it at home on your own. If you want it to be serious, it'll be serious. That's correct.
It's like the other one when we all went back. No, brothers that you later.
Yeah, you're gonna make it. Everybody gonna see you, and they're gonna know what you want, and they're gonna see what you're trying to do, and they'll see if you're worthy. That's it. All right. And that's old as 1969. I had to wear black and show them I wanted it. Show them. I had to make it very clear that I wanted it and wanted it bad. All right, where are we at? Come on.
If I could, what did you say before when you were saying something about keeping an oath, but before that?
You gotta watch the tape, brother.
Go.
I gotta keep rocking and rolling.
Go.
Where are we at now? A bunch.
So your time check 8:52.
All right.
You wanted to have
1 second. Hold your point.
personal counsel for.
Mariah, any personal counsel questions up here? Anyone that has a personal counseling question? What was the other topic I heard? I think it was just the death, right? Go ahead.
So you wanted to go over how to proving that we don't cover our heads, or what means when we.
Thawada, give me the personal question if we have. Do we have any personal counseling questions?
They ain't pressing number 1, but I can check online if you
hurry up. All right, to cover the heads. Give me the scripture where Ezekiel was told to bind the tire upon his head. You can go in the Bible dictionary and look up dress, Israelite dress in your Zondervan Bible dictionary. Also, you need 1 Corinthians, if a man prophesieth or prayeth with his head uncovered. Christians believe that your head being uncovered means you can't wear anything on your head. That is not true if you understand the Bible. The part of your head that you must keep uncovered is the crown of your head. when Christ returns, the Bible says, what about the brother with the green headpiece right here? When Christ comes back, he shall wear many what? That's how you know you can wear a headpiece. Because a headpiece is crown. How could you wear a crown if you can't put anything on your head? Right? There's a lot of fake Israelite groups, some purple Israelites. Who else? I think the GMS Israelites. And every Christian believes that you can't wear anything on your head. That's why in the Old West, they would have a hat on. They take the hat off. You got to take your hat off in church. That comes from the belief that anything on your head is covering your head. But I know that Christ said what? He shall wear many crowns. Wearing a crown would be unlawful if you couldn't wear anything on your head. Does that make sense? Is that simple enough to understand? Well, what's the difference between a crown and a hat? Brother with the green headpiece.
Difference between a crown and a hat.
Mm-hmm. What's the difference between a crown and a hat? A baseball hat.
Yeah, the crown is open.
The crown is open. That's why a crown is lawful, because the middle is open. That's what makes your head uncovered. The same thing that's uncovered when you wear a crown upon your head. The middle being open, right? Israelites always have worn headpieces. The mitre was tied upon Aaron's head, not the middle, right? The middle is open to signify your allegiance to the Most High. You uncover the crown of your head, which is why the UPK, different Gadites throughout years, the Gadites would wear headpieces with the middle of their head uncovered. It's for that purpose. That's where the tradition comes from. To your own purpose, saying, I'm leaving this part open. You understand? You want them to know I'm wearing something on my head, but I'm cutting this out so you can know that I serve Christ, as opposed to wearing nothing on your head, which you could just be wearing nothing on your head. But when you wear something on your head and take out the middle, it's known that you follow Christ, that you're an Israelite. Right. Come on.
It's like it sums it all up. A crown, sir, it's exposing the crown of your head.
Man, I don't get how fake Israelites think they will receive a crown from Christ, but they can't wear anything on their head. You can ask them when you talk to them. I don't, not you, but I don't talk to them. I don't talk to anybody other than you. But if you talk to them, ask them how are you going to wear a crown then? When Christ returns, if you can't wear anything on your head, break it down. All right, let's go. Everybody gets, if you need precepts, give me, you can get, it's all over the place, man. You can look up dress in the Bible. Hold your point, yo, now. You can look up dress in the Bible dictionary, where it will say the Israelites. Read that dress in the Bible dictionary. Anybody have it?
What part did you want?
The headpiece, the headdress. They wore 3 forms of headdress. Give me a lot. When Elijah, when his wife died with a stroke, and he was told, you got that? Read. I'm sorry. First, you read a bun, quick.
Dress in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. In the main, however, there were 3 known types that were worn by the male members of the.
There were what, by the what?
Worn by the male.
There were what?
Worn.
There were what?
Worn.
Worn. Israelites wore things on their head. They wore headpieces. Keep going.
Worn by the male members.
Wait a minute. The Bible says that whoever covers his head dishonors his head. So why would the men wear this? Because their head is not covered when they wear this. Keep going.
Worn by the male members of the Hebrew and surrounding nations.
Keep going.
The cap, the turban.
The cap, the turban, go ahead.
And the headscarf.
And the headscarf, meaning what? The Elamites have a turban, East Indians. Arabs also have a turban. What's the difference between the Israelite mitre and the Arab turban? Ashkara.
The Arab turban covers the head.
The Arab turban covers the crown of his head. The Elamite turban covers the crown of his head. The Israelites don't cover the crown of their head. The turban, which is what we call a mitri. A mitri is a turban where the middle of your head is uncovered. The mitri, go ahead, give me the three.
The cap.
The cap. The cap is that thing that we wear like a, what is it called?
A beret, sir.
It's like a beret. It hangs to one side. They wore that cap in Israel. That same cap. The cap with the what? Hole up here. Hole in the top of the cap. Go ahead.
The turban.
The turban, we went over that.
And the headscarf.
And the what?
Headscarf.
And the what?
Headscarf.
And the what?
Headscarf.
Everybody understands, right? Everybody gets this. What you're doing is what your brothers did for thousands of years. Give me Ezekiel doing it. Is that what you have? Read quickly. Hold your point, y'all, and I'll get it in 1 second. Go ahead.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 24, verse 17. Forbear to cry. Make no mourning for the dead.
This is when Ezekiel's wife died. Go ahead.
Bind the tire of thine head.
Nice and loud. Do what?
Bind the tire of thine head.
Bind the tire of thy head. You know what a tire is, right? It's dress. Bind, tie the dress of your head. Bind the tire of your head. Go ahead.
Bind the tire of thy head upon thee, and put on thy shoes.
And put your shoes on. Go ahead.
Upon thy feet.
Go ahead.
And cover not thy lips.
Don't cover your mouth. Speak. Go ahead.
And eat not the bread of men.
Don't eat the bread. Go on a fast. Don't eat the bread of men. Go ahead.
Verse 18. So I spake unto the people in the morning, and at even my wife died, and I did in the morning as I was commanded.
Go ahead.
Verse 19. And the people said unto me, wilt thou not tell us?
Wait a minute. What did Ezekiel go out and do when he found out his wife was dead? He went to camp dressed how? He tied his mitri on his head. He didn't need food, and he put his shoes on his feet. When he went to speak to the people, he's prophesying with a mitri on. He bind the tire of his head. He didn't eat the bread of men, and he put shoes on his feet, and he did not close his mouth. He spoke. Everybody gets the point? How could he be speaking with his head uncovered? His head is not uncovered. The crown of his head is open. Everybody understands? This is being an Israelite, young man. This is how it works. This is what Israelites do. The Christians don't wear anything on their head because the Romans did not wear anything on their head, not even hair. The Egyptians forbid hair on your head. That's where it comes from, not from some belief in Christ. It comes from wanting to be more American. And if you see those purple sodomites, they look like church choir men. They look like a bunch of choir boys in choir robes. They're not killers. And that's why they look the way they do. All I'm telling you is what Israelites do. Okay, do whatever the hell you feel like doing. I got to move on. All right. Anything else? Sit. Go ahead. Please do your thing. All right. Anything else? Marah, anything else? What am I forgetting? No personal questions. Let me try to give you the ones that my phone rings off the hook with all damn day. All right. A sister called me, and this one I know is a mistake. Okay. First of all, a ton of these personal problems I know are miscommunications. Okay. This is what I always tell brothers and sisters. Be always ready to give your brother or sister in the truth the benefit of the doubt. Assume that you don't understand something when you think they're doing something that is offensive. Just assume that there's a miscommunication. Me, myself, I go on Facebook, right? You know I got my Facebook back on, right? I don't understand Facebook. I'm too old to understand Facebook, right? Sometimes it will look like a brother in the truth is sending me a post from a fake Israelite group. Well, I'll go, what am I looking at? I look over here and I see a fake Israelite group doing something. And I see a brother in the school sent it to me. Now, in the beginning, when that first would happen, I would call a camp leader and go, why in the hell is officer whatever sending me something about this fake Israelite group? And so the brother over the city would say, well, he didn't send that to you. Somehow I'm getting it. I don't understand it. Then I begin to realize, wait a minute. I can't jump to the conclusion, even though it has the brother's name up there, and it's a fake Israelite video. And of course, I wonder, what in the hell are you even talking to me for, one? Then why are you sending me something from a fake Israelite group? I realize it's just my lack of understanding of Facebook. It seems like it came from him, but it didn't. You get the point? So now I ignore it. What else do I do? Sometimes I see something from women. Women on Facebook are having the worst problem in the world. Let me tell you how to fix it. Sometimes, this happened recently to me. I saw something on Facebook where it was a brother's wife, and she talked about some man in the world like he was cute, which is a word I say about twice a year, the word cute. It feels awful in my mouth to say. It feels like moist and anointed and cute. She said something like, this guy is, let's call it handsome, all right? Handsome. I saw it. I know this is a brother's wife. I unfriended her. Now, why? She's probably talking to some sisters being goofy and dumb, okay? She's a child. The brother will handle this. This doesn't have to matter. It only matters because I saw it, right? Maybe she's talking to other women and they're being dumb. They're kids. I look at all y'all like you're a bunch of damn kids anyway. So maybe the problem is I'm seeing it, okay? I unfriend the sister so she can talk to her peers and not talk to me. If she's doing something wrong, her husband will handle it. I know I would. Right. I would handle it. But if I don't have to see it, then I don't have to get involved or, assume anything. I just unfriend her. This sister called me this week and she said that she believes that brothers in the school are saying that if a man is married to a woman, regardless of what she does or believes, his marriage to her means she's in the truth. Am I explaining it right? I'll explain it one more time. This is what she thought. This is incorrect. She's incorrect about thinking it. It's a miscommunication. It's a mistake. Meaning, let's say Yeshaya is married to a woman, right? Regardless of whether or not this woman believes in the truth, keeps the commandments, but the fact that she's married to Yeshaya means she's in the truth. Everyone knows that's not true. That's what I told her. Everyone knows that's not true. If she believes she's heard brothers say this, I know she hasn't. It's a Facebook problem. It's a miscommunication. More than likely, it's talk about something else and not about this. You get my point? A lot of things you see and hear, it's off topic, it's out of context. Everyone in the UPK knows that you can be married to a unbeliever. It's in 1 Corinthians 11. All right. If the unbeliever be pleased to dwell with thee, let them not depart. But if the unbeliever depart, a brother or a sister is not under bondage in this case. The fact that you simply stick your penis into a woman does not make her in the truth. Right? And I know you know this already. I'm just helping you. The fact that you're a woman and your husband is in the world, it doesn't mean he's in the truth either. You understand? Okay. Being in the truth is simple, right? It's simple. Keeping the commandments. I'll make it more simple to you. Keeping the commandments the way the UPK says to keep the commandments. I'm making it as simple as I can. Because the Christian church will say, we keep the commandments, we pay tithes. There's a lot more commandments than just that. Everybody gets it? Okay, you come into the school, you keep the commandments. If you're a woman in the UPK, do you have to come to class? No. What do I mean by that? If you're married to a man in the UPK, you do not have to come to class anymore. That's old school. Commanding General Yohana established that rule far before you ever thought about God. A man in the UPK if you are a woman and before you're married, you come to class. Once you're married, you are no longer bound to come to class anymore. Your husband has the responsibility of teaching you. If your husband wants you to come to class, then you can. But you don't have to come to class ever again once you are married to a priest in the school, sis. If you're married, your husband decides. Your husband might say, don't come to class because I know you're only going to class to try to usurp my authority. And he will stop you from coming to class. And he's right. And if you came to class, we will say, what in the hell are you doing here? Your husband said you can't come. Anybody gets the point? The bond that we have with your husband is unbreakable. Every woman should know that. The bond that men have with each other in the UPK, oh, it's hard to break. Precept. It's hard to break. I said that for a reason, officers. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. 2 is better than 1. And a 3-cord fold is hard to break.
Oh, God.
Get the point? It's hard to break. We'll never teach you anything that your husband doesn't want. He wants you to stay home. He got a good reason for it. He know you. And he wants he wants you in the house. All right? Everybody gets the point. All right. You understand. He wants you to stay home. I apologize. He wants you to stay home because he knows what's best. And that's that. Now, if you don't have a husband, you come to class, all right? But simply being married to someone in the school does not make you in the truth. You're going to have to keep the commandments as we do in the UPK to be considered in the truth. If you're eating pork, eating shrimp, murdering people, it doesn't matter that you're married to someone in the school. I know you know this, but I'm just saying it because I got a call about it, all right? Is there anything else? Come on. In the back, Oscar out, quick.
The slot, sir, I'm just paraphrasing because he gives no man's license to sin, sir.
Of course, sir. Of course. I mean, I know brothers know this and sisters know this too, but I'm just making sure up front, the brother right in front of you. Go say your name again. Isupk. You got it.
If I could, I was just it's something I was wondering when I started like realizing that like the UPK was like the home of the truth.
You better believe it.
And that the other group, they was like spinoffs, like they would say stuff, but
break-offs is better. Go ahead.
But they wouldn't be doing like they wasn't in here, but they was trying to do stuff that they seen was ahead. I was watching the video where he was breaking down the steward that had the job with the
I remember last week or something, right?
Start shooting people with their old boss or whatever. Right. That's what the fake Israelites groups is basically doing. They wouldn't want to say the white man was a devil no more. They wanted to come and be with him or whatever. But they still want to be Israelites. So they make small the debt that we owe to the Lord. Right.
And that's their way of getting the people to like them.
And if I could, brother, he always say to me, you attract more bees for honey than or whatever. You know that little phrase, he was like, y'all be out there. I was like, we don't. No,
we don't want none of them bees.
Right.
Where is Shia?
So like, I just got a quick question. Okay, so if a demon attacks you, your spirit, you fight spiritually. I mean, if the demon don't attack you, you're not fighting the spirit. That means you're not doing righteous. You're not being right.
You gotta be more specific.
Meaning, so if a demon is attacking you,
if a demon is attacking you, go
spiritually, and you fighting the spirit. That means you're doing something right. That means you're following the Most High, doing right.
Okay, don't think like that. That comes from the world.
Okay.
Because the world believes, if the demon's fighting you, you must be doing something good. That's from churches. This is what matters. If anybody is fighting you, you better be fighting back. Anything or anybody. Physically, somebody tries to harm you, take their life. If they try to harm you. If they don't try to harm you, be at peace with them. If a demon is trying to harm you, how would a demon harm you? By getting you to, it's simple.
By getting you to break the law.
To break the sin. That's a demon harming you. Fight him. Take his life. That's all. What you want to just do is defend yourself. Every time, without fail, without ceasing. Of course.
Is for a man to take it?
Say that one more time.
Being as though a sister is different, it's possible for a man to do that.
It's possible for a man to do what? Oh, most definitely. Yes, just like in the book of Tobit. A sister can be unable to fight a demon, right? Why? Because the Most High has given her a strong demon that only her husband can cast out. That's definitely the truth. There are some demons that a woman can cast out through her fighting, right? Give me a lot of demons. Some demons like smoking weed, drugs. A woman can come into this school and fight and give up those things. Then there's some rough ones. There's some hardcore demons that a woman just won't be able to cast out without a man. And she'll be looking for that man to come and cast out those demons that are too strong for her to fight. That's correct. That's correct.
I'm paraphrasing most High's prophets are men. So.
I hope y'all know that already.
No.
That's the truth. What else did I go through? That's it, right? Marah.
Sister online, she when you was talking about a woman learning at home, she said, "What if your husband won't teach you?"
You mean if your husband is in the truth and he won't teach you? Let me explain. All right. Let me help you with that. I've heard that before throughout the years. Many years I've heard women say, "My husband won't teach me." All right. Let me explain to women what that is. Your husband believes that you are absolutely hard-headed and you don't want to learn. But you do want a reason to argue with him. The reason that brothers in the school don't teach their wives is because you are horrible to talk to. That's the reason. Let me ask the sister a question. Let's say she sat in my class. She was sitting in the class, and when I went to teach her, she said, but wait a minute, that ain't true. But wait a minute, that ain't true. And but why you say that? And wait a minute, that ain't right. And what would I do? I have a bun toss her down the steps. Right?
Oh, God.
So I wouldn't teach her either. What officer would? What officer would let a student be disruptive in his class?
Right.
No one disrupts my class. Would you let someone disrupt your class? Oh, no, I run my class. I run it and I do all the talking. I answer all the questions. I'm Lord in this room while I'm in here. Now, what do you expect a husband to do when he has a wife who he tries to teach, but she comes against and fights him on everything he says? You know what? He doesn't, she used the right words. He doesn't want to teach you. He does teach that new sweet thing, though. Right. He's meeting women all the time on Facebook and on the internet, and he's spilling the book of Revelations on those women. He's teaching them Ecclesiasticus, Ecclesiastes, Deuteronomy in the original Hebrew and Greek translation. He's giving those women knowledge. And you wonder, you go, he don't want to teach me, but he does teach her. That's because you don't want what he has to say. Why wouldn't a man want to teach you? He's a priest in the UPK. His whole life is teaching. That's all he really cares about is teaching people. Right? You're a trooper. You having to hold back teaching people. Right? You're a trooper. You like, oh my God, I want to teach somebody so damn bad. Right? You telling me this brother don't want to teach a woman with her head covered? He wants to teach you, just not you, because you're awful. Otherwise, that man would want to teach you. Here's the key to life. I'm trying to empower women. Women love to be empowered, right? Let me empower you. Everything that's wrong in your life is your fault. That's empowering. Why? Because then that means everything that's wrong in my life, I can fix. You don't have to wait for your husband to want to teach you. You can become the woman that he wants to teach. The power is with you. It ain't rocket tell y'all why y'all shot. Otherwise, you know what you'll do? You'll sit back and wait for him to change. Wait for him to get better. Wait for him to want to teach you. Wait for him to want to spend time with you. Wait for him to like you. How is that empowering? That's not empowering to a woman. I'm trying to empower you. Everything that's wrong in your life is your fault, which means you are the one that can fix it. With that, pass the class over to police officer.
We want no cowards in our camp,